Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone.
We are tired, Tino. Hello, and welcome to another video. Today we're checking delusional woke people. Don't forget that like button. Let's get into it.
Women who do not have children and are not married live longer than women who are married with children. They earn more money. They are healthier. They are less likely to die of suicide. Women without children and without marriages, less likely to commit suicide, less likely to be victims of homicide, less likely to die in car accidents, less likely to suffer from alcoholism and drug addiction, less likely to report themselves depressed and anxious, and more sexually satisfied than women who are married with children. Right? It's like there's not a single way that you can measure success and well-being on any cultural or sociological scale that unmarried and childless women do not outperform women who are married with children.
When we take power, it's going to be illegal for women to have buzz cuts like this. This is disgusting. I didn't even listen to anything she just said. I was totally distracted by how
We need to sue her hairdresser on her behalf. The richest women in the world got their wealth from their husbands. Breastfeeding mothers are less likely to get breast cancer. Mothers are less likely to get ovarian cancer. Married women are less likely to suffer from mental illness. Can't say the same for the cat ladies of the world.
I'm a trans woman.
Sure, be whatever you want to be.
I'm also Muslim. Yes, the two exist.
They exist, guys. So, my advice to you, don't go to a Muslim country because there they don't coexist.
Alhamdulillah.
Next.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته كيف حالكم يا أحباب.
Yeah, I'm not doing this.
This is hysterical.
This is so f***ing stupid. Like, for the second time, I'm in a coffee shop just trying to study and do my homework. Like last time, my headphones were dead, so like I didn't have any headphones on, whatever. I was just gonna do my essay. And this like family sits next to me. It's like a dad, like teenage son and like teenage daughter, and they're probably like 18 or something. And they're sitting next to me and like I'm not like paying too much attention, and like the daughter's like, I just like want to go, like can we just go walk around? The dad was like, no, like we need to talk about why you guys hate Trump so much. And I was just like, I could hear it. I was just like, whatever. And the dad was just like, it's because you guys need to understand, like, he's doing good because he's trying to stop the trans people who are grooming children. And the daughter was like rolling her eyes. She was like, can we please just go? Like, I don't want to talk about this. Gay people are fine, but trans people are harming children, and like he's gonna stop this. And like I literally, like, this is the second time now this has happened to me. They're sitting right next to me and they have no idea, of course. So I like picked up the phone and I called my friend, and I was like loudly, I was like, once again, some idiot is next to me at a coffee shop talking about trans people and how they're harmful, and he has no idea he's actually sitting next to a trans person who's minding their own business. And I said this loud, and then like they kind of like were like freaking out, and they started like gathering all their like all their food and like all their drinks, and they started to stand up and leave. And so did I. Just like slammed my laptop shut, and I was just like, I can't focus and study because I have some transphobe next to me crying about he doesn't know. Like I just popped off. I just like was like popping off. I'm like walking back to my car. Like it's like the type of propaganda that works every time. Like for stupid people, like goes so hard. Like they eat it up. They literally eat it up. They are bewildered every single time they're in real life, not reading headlines on the internet, and a trans person's right there. Like, I'm so sick of this.
First of all, you look like a girl with a horrible barber. Secondly, that didn't happen. The truck was trying to brake check the Tesla that's recording. Well, what did we learn about karma today?
Can a 30-year-old person say, I'm now 14? Okay, so then if we don't affirm that mental delusion, why should we affirm the mental delusion where men who think they are women or women who think they are men?
Because there's a power like problem with age.
And there's no power problem between men becoming women or going into locker rooms or winning female trophies or winning female sports. There's no power dynamic there. So you look at the world through trying to accommodate the comfort of the oppressed. We look at the world through right and wrong, moral and immoral, and just and unjust. We don't care about making people comfortable. We care about what is right. We care about the protection of women, not that some psychopath can go into your local locker room and undress next to a girl at the University of Tennessee. We think that's perverted and wrong and insane.
I can't believe we are still talking about this in 2025, honestly.
If there was a zombie apocalypse, liberals would be for zombies. And they'd be like, no, zombies have the right to eat brains. And they have the right to murder human beings because zombies deserve to live. And everybody would be like, the what? And they'd be like, yeah, you can't oppress the zombies because the zombies are just a minority. And it doesn't really happen. They're all actually doctors and, you know, very smart people. So we can have them move into our towns and eat us.
They would also go unscathed because they have no brains to offer.
I do not have the same opportunity as you. I know I don't. And you know that I know what's going on. And you know that.
She doesn't have the same opportunity as she sits right at the table, right alongside them, and has a conversation. Poor, pitiful us. But she wasn't done. Let's skip to the end. I want to talk about this.
I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all y'all added up together on this table, right? And I have always been the least paid person on payroll at every institution I have worked in. And it's not because...
Even in the White House?
Even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that? I don't think you worked for George W. or Trump.
Well, guess wasn't what happened when I was there. DEI.
Listen, it's 2025. If you're like under the age of 40 and you're still crying and complaining about, you know, the white man holding you back and slavery and racism and you can't get any opportunities and everything isn't fair, you're lame. That is lame. Extremely lame. This woman worked in the White House under Biden and Harris. She says she was the lowest paid, even with the DEI administration that she was working for. Well, maybe she just wasn't the most skilled. Maybe she doesn't bring the most value. Just because you have degrees does not mean you're competent, nor does it mean you're good at your job. And clearly this individual is not very smart, nor very mature, but was working in the White House. 2025, get to work. We live in the best country in the history of existence. There is more opportunity in this country than anywhere on the planet. Many of us are still complaining about the white man and racism and whining about it.
A law degree, a master's, 2 bachelors, and this is how she communicates? Obviously, degrees don't equal intelligence.
So you know how I told you every day I've been coming home and there's been money missing from my purse?
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
Well, the new boss that I don't like hired someone to monitor the cameras, and turns out HR's been robbing us blind.
Wow, that's insane, but that's a good thing that you guys found out. Now you can do something about it, and now you know where your money's been going.
No, it's not that simple.
Why? What's wrong?
I don't like the boss, I don't like the new hire, and I didn't get to help pick him out.
Oh, well, do you usually get to help the boss pick his new hires?
No, but it's not the same. I want to know where my money's going, I want it to be investigated, but I don't want this person doing the investigation. I already said I didn't like him.
Well, you are gonna benefit from it in the long run, so why don't you just try to look at the positives?
Don't you get it? There's nothing that this boss or his new hire could do to make me like him or think that it's positive. It will never be positive because it's them. I'm not even safe at work anymore. I don't even care about the money anymore. I don't care who's robbing me. If this is what it's gonna take, I don't even care to know. I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Also, they'd stand by HR to protest the whole process. Bunch of dummies.
Can I be a little provocative on this for a second, guys? All right, trigger warning. Okay, one of the world's wealthiest men, worth like 10 billion bucks. He's got a show on the NBC Apprentice. He's literally married to a supermodel. He can have any woman on the world. And I'm supposed to believe at 2 p.m. in a Tiffany's store, he walks in and E. Jean Carroll, who is not exactly a supermodel, and risks his entire fortune, of which there is no accusation for 20 years, but he pops up and runs for the president, and all of a sudden she says, this guy, even though I can't remember the day, the month, the year, 2 p.m. in a department store at Tiffany's while he was at the height of his career. Sorry, it's complete rubbish and political nonsense.
So sick of that narrative.
Do you think there should be more than 2 genders in America?
Yeah, I don't know what that executive order means. I don't know what the president declared.
It means there are 2 genders, male and female. Do you disagree with that?
How many genders are there, Harry?
Yeah,
Come on, little guy. How many genders are there?
Again, these guys don't know what they're talking about, so they won't be able to answer.
Harry, how many genders are there?
How many genders are there, Harry?
How many genders are there? At least 2. That satisfies
well, how many more other than male, female?
That's a TikTok answer. There's at least 2.
Yeah.
There's at least 2.
Well, no, hang on. There's male and female.
Kid is like human brain
Donald
rot.
Trump says there's male and female. There are 2.
Okay, Dave.
How many more are there after male and female, Harry?
We asked a damn question.
You've just been asked a very simple question, Harry.
Conversation with Piers, not you, Mr. Comb over. Relax for me.
Harry,
Take a
you
breather.
simply
Thank
got
you so
asked
much.
if there are at least 2 genders, how many more are there than male and female?
Piers, you asked me about Donald Trump's executive order. I'm trying to explain how legally it makes absolutely no sense and it's going to get sued in court. Then we go into culture wars with Dave Rubin and this Ferguson guy asking how many genders are there.
Hang on, Ben. Hang on, Ben. I've got
More
this.
or less than 100.
Can I answer the question?
Yes, Cornell. Answer the question.
Can I answer the question
Yes.
for Brother Harry? Because Brother Harry
Yes. Help him out, Cornell.
All of us are androgynous. There are men and there are women. There are different sizes of human beings, all made in the image of a God that has a dignity and a sanctity. And if you're going to try to start demonizing precious trans folk, then I'm going to be fighting. But it's not. But
okay, Corn, I agree with them. I agree with them. I agree. Don't demonize trans folks. This is all the left has left.
How many colors are there in the rainbow? There's at least 7, so there are more? What are they then? Seeing Harry Sisson getting bullied on TV is satisfying.
Call people aliens, you weirdo. Well, hey, that's on the website. I'm gonna say what it's on the website. No, you're not gonna call people aliens on my live. Okay, let me rephrase it. Illegal immigrants. There you go. Well, yeah. I mean, I would prefer that. I prefer you call them undocumented immigrants, but like. The point that I would make is that, like, when you call people aliens, that is by definition dehumanizing. Okay? Hey with it.
Was he about to cry or something?
Do you believe in black privilege or white privilege?
We don't have black privilege. We don't have black privilege.
I can't say that we don't have black privilege because we have forced it out there to where if a white person just walks up to us, they can't say what they want to anymore.
We and our ancestors gonna let them beat us up and
and there lies your black privilege.
I think that's not wrong with rights.
It's not.
Suspect me.
No, it's not. It's not a right because white people would feel like it's a right that we live in higher society. It's a privilege.
We're not getting the same sentence as a black person. A white rapper and a black rapper. A black rapper still gonna get the same. Gonna get worse than the white person.
And there lies white privilege.
It's above black privilege.
Finally, a smart guy in glasses. Not that smart if he's dating her, though.
Do you think Snow White flopped last weekend because Disney changed the original story? Think again. Fact is, Disney hired a Latina, pro-Palestinian woman and you lost your minds.
Here's a hot take. Maybe just sucks.
Took a free folktale and turned it into a billion-dollar brand. Nobody batted an eye. This is not an attack on Disney. It's a war on women.
I'm just kidding. It's not really a war when you're punching down, you know?
Condition young girls to be likable, agreeable, relatable.
You think that that's true in America? Women are taught to be more masculine, which, by the way, I like masculine women. I think if you can't handle a masculine woman, you're gay. Oh, let me dominate somebody who can stand up for themselves and they still fear me? That's based, okay? Oh, I have a petite 5-foot-tall girlfriend. Like, she listens to everything I say and tell her to do. Whoa, what a challenge, dude. Oh, give me a 5'6" BBW with an attitude that'll stab you to death in your sleep. Dominate that. And also, it's okay to have feminine stories. It's okay to have stories that still have a feminine representation of women. Some women like to be more feminine.
The movie was horrible, and people are tired of uncreative wokeness destroying beautiful things. Also, Rachel Ziegler is a menace.
I truly think that trans women are the best of us. And not only do I not think that they take anything away from my experience as a cis woman, I think that they are actually one of the purest forms of womanhood and highlight some of the most beautiful parts of womanhood. Because what do you mean that in our patriarchal society, you are going to throw away all of the privilege that you have as someone that was born a man and choose girlhood even when it means you have a life expectancy of 40 and you instantly become the most at-risk woman in your society? Like, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. How does any woman see someone fighting that hard to be one of us and your gut reaction is to call them a man? No, babe, they're more woman than you will ever be.
I don't think an Adam's apple and peeing standing up is womanhood. Also, the most beautiful and purest form of womanhood is motherhood.
That whosoever believes in him will not perish. My dear, hold on a minute, I'm making a video. So, free Palestine from Islam and from Hamas. The Islam is the cult religion of, and free Palestine from Islam and Hamas, and everything will be fine. Don't touch me, don't touch me. So free Palestine from Islam and Hamas. Islam is the cult religion of, and these people are lost in the cult religion of. So this woman is coming to ask for freedom for Palestine. I ask freedom for Palestine from Islam and Hamas. God bless you.
You shouldn't have gotten in her video in the first place.
If you're cis and you won't date trans folks, you're transphobe. Now if that made you mad, maybe it's your prejudices that you need to probe. No matter the reasons you've got, you're reducing us to when we disrobe. And that kind of thinking ain't sophisticated. It's more like microbes. I know you think you've got good reasons, maybe you do. Trauma's real, it's hard to heal. I'd never say that that isn't true. But transphobia's transphobia, and you won't get a pass when we're through. We're human beings, not organs, cis lesbians. I'm talking to you.
Trans or cis, no one wants you, bro.
I'd want to be the fattest woman in the world.
Wait. What the hell?
How many inches y'all think her stomach is, though?
91 inches.
She had 7 foot inches of stomach? Bro, shorty's stomach taller than Webinyama.
Gonna eat more food, but
Protect all the food. We need food protective services ASAP!
She might be the fattest dead woman, though.
Elon Musk makes $8 million a day on government contracts. $8 million a day. At what point is there a limit? Is there a, okay, I have enough money now, I don't have to, like, my brain's broken.
At what point does someone just walk into a tattoo shop and say, split me down the middle? Anyway, that was the first thing that came to my mind. I think there's a lot more for you to worry about than how much money Elon Musk is making a day.
Tattoo artists need to start drawing a line.
Hey guys, I need some help.
No truer statement has been said on Donald Trump's internet. I'm gonna say ever.
I bought these probably, I don't know.
Tell me if you think you know what I'm thinking.
Psychiatrists need to be booked and busy in the US.
All right, our next story is a couple who they used the wrong term to describe one of their ailments, and now they're apologizing.
Question we get asked is why Jax doesn't talk, and the reason is because they're selectively mute or semi-verbal. Previously, we used the term nonverbal, which is a more widely understood term. However, this takes away from individual visibility and representation of peoples who deserve their space. In other words, we were wrong, and we're super okay admitting that, having been presented with new words and definitions with information that better fits the nuance here. To be specific, non-verbal people do not have access to any words. And I'm lucky enough to be one of the ones that Jax uses words with selectively, i.e. selectively mute. Before we go any further, if you actually care, Google the words. And even though we were corrected in an aggressive manner, we understand it's because people are defensive of these subjects and rightfully should be.
That's right. Apologize for using the wrong words. That's the game you chose to play. So your girlfriend doesn't talk, and she said she's nonverbal, which is non-verbal. Perfectly describes the situation. So when you have nothing going for you, you got nothing going on, you can like hyper focus on nothing. So oh, today I went to the grocery store. Well, actually it was a supermarket. Well, that's not to say that grocery stores can't be super. I've been to a lot of bodegas that are great. You just get into this thing where you're just like constantly explaining yourself and using the words and changing the words, and it's all just like a race or a contest to be the most righteous and good by offending the least.
Why is the hair dye on his chin?
I love how people are like, oh, Doge just discovered that this much money was unnecessarily being spent on this thing. Meanwhile, the billionaire Elon Musk runs Doge. Do you know that billionaires just sit on money and do absolutely nothing with it? They're billionaires because they don't put their money anywhere. It's not going back into the economy. They just sit on it and hoard that wealth and don't do anything useful with it. So it's like you could get mad at the government for spending money on useless things, which most of the time it's not useless. But then you're going to celebrate a man that hoards wealth and sits on all his money. Meanwhile, people are struggling. Make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense. We're talking about unnecessary spending while worshiping the billionaire vice president, basically, hoarding wealth.
They don't hear themselves speak. He's sitting on his money. Why do you care? Also, you think people become billionaires because they don't spend money. You disgraceful child.
It's always the little kids that give it away. I mean, did you happen to take a look at that girl that like looks over, looks down, gives a funny smile, and then looks up? Yeah. See, what's not normal is if a child sees a dead body in front of them and then smiles and doesn't look serious about the situation at all. And obviously, you know, the body was totally covered by the wording in the video, so I guess we'll just never know if it was true or simply more Hollywood. Guys, just don't have kids around the video when you're doing it. I feel like you may actually get better results if you just keep the kids out. Well, that's my Hollywood advice to you. Let's see if it works better next time.
The body bag just moved too. No food, no water, no electricity. But that iPhobe is in stellar condition though.
I think you guys hate Elon Musk so much because he used to be on Team Left and now he's on Team America and he's putting his money where his mouth is. And
I don't like him because he's annoying and he has bad politics.
Oh, because he has bad politics.
No, and he's annoying.
So it's like a personal thing?
A little bit, but also he has bad politics.
Do you think he's done anything remarkable?
Depends on what you consider remarkable. It's
like, I don't know, launching rockets into orbit and then landing them?
The one launching the rockets, his employees are.
Okay, he's the inventor and the innovator of SpaceX.
He only has 4 patents to his name. Most of those are for the Tesla Model X, not for anything related to SpaceX.
And how many do you have to your name?
I'm not trying to be Elon Musk.
Yeah, it's so easy to like criticize. I don't like Elon.
No, I'm not trying to be him.
No, I think maybe you should just have a little bit more like awe at what this guy has built and what he has done.
Shouldn't we just be against the interests of any of elites?
No, I'm not against the idea of elites. You're always going to have people at the top of something. Top of an institution, top of a school, top of a sporting event. The question is, will those people be noble and have duty, courage, and strong ethics? That's always been the question.
So then why are you touting Elon Musk as a good example of
because he's a great example. He gives a lot of money away. He also bought X, which saved freedom of speech in the West, $50 billion that allowed us to speak freely. And he's now sacrificing a lot of his time where he could be on a yacht in Monaco trying to find waste in our federal government so that your taxpayer dollars are better spent. That is an example of a noble elite. What would you like to have him do? He's worth $400.
Give away more of his money to other causes, because it seems like
nobody is going to use
$450 billion in their entire life.
That's not, but well, he gave away $50 billion basically for Twitter. Like, he's not going to make money on that. He gave hundreds of millions of dollars on political stuff. He's given away billions of dollars charitably.
They need him to fund transgender rats and Palestine riots, Charlie.
So let me show you around my new face. For reference, here's what I looked like before. First up is the hairline. You can see that it has been moved forward. The line is pretty pronounced right now, but it...
What? Did he say move forward? Yeah. What? Okay, they lifted the eyelids. It's like unhooding the eyes. It looks like the nose was shaved down a little. And it looks like this jawline was touched up. I just don't see a difference. It looks like maybe he plucked his eyebrows. I don't see a difference either. Just like Dylan Mulvaney when he got his. Nothing really changed that much.
It's almost as if a man is a man.
This is why y'all lost. My period I experience every month is very real.
Once a month, trans women will experience what is known as a period.
I replied, but some women don't get periods, and some men get periods too. Or you can be born intersex and get a period.
Because not all women have periods, and not all people who do have their periods are women. Menstruation is a biological process, meaning if you have a uterus, you may experience a period. There are many people who have their periods that are transgender or non-binary that aren't women.
Why? Stop.
Now, if you didn't know, trans women, we get the muscular cramps. Obviously, we're not having periods, but we get the hormone influxions and the muscles. Many of us just...
These people need to know when to stop. And that right there is a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. Before you go, don't forget to hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons. See you in the next one.